Hello, and welcome to my fourth installment on my audio-visual conversion of my blog. Step 4, powerlessness. When you become dependent on a drug to function for so long, you make the decision to stop taking it, you start to believe you'll never accomplish anything again. The funny thing is, I have had ADHD my whole life, along with OCD. Not the kind that requires ritualistic behaviors, more like the kind that gives you exceptional organizational skills. And for the most part, I functioned just fine. There were things I would do as a child to ease the anxiety I would feel if I thought I was forgetting something, like lay my clothes out the night before school, make sure all my books and supplies were in my backpack. As I got older, due to lack of time management skills, I would always arrive way too early for work, quite often having to wait on my boss to arrive to let me in. So in rehab, it's the small victories you celebrate. Sleep does not come easy in rehab. There are many reasons for this. The most obvious is you are not home. Other reasons include your body adjusting to the anxiety that is now creeping in. The fact that the bed you are sleeping on is small and made with a plastic shell, I am assuming this is because bodily fluids can easily be cleaned up if an accident were to occur. The night before my husband and I's couples session with my therapist, I was waking up every hour on the hour. It would be the first time I would see him in over a week. I was nervous. Finally, at 5:30 a.m., I gave up any hopes of getting any more sleep. So to keep my mind occupied, I grabbed my binder and posted sticky bookmarks and a pencil from the nurse's station, sat in the hallway and attempted to organize my binder. At first, my anxiety kicked in, trying to organize my thoughts to put all the handouts I had received in any discernible order. After an hour of incredible frustration, the order I was trying to make happen with all of this information started coming together. And that hyper-focused thing that I mentioned in an earlier post kicked in. When I was done, I was so proud of myself. This may sound silly, but please understand, when you realize that you can accomplish things without the use of the drug you were so dependent on for years, it is cause to celebrate. And yes, my therapist was excited for me too. As the day progressed, I grew ever more anxious as the time for my counseling session with my husband grew near, partly due to the lack of sleep and partly due to the never-ending what ifs going on in my head. You see, when I had met my husband, I was only using recreationally, and he joined the party for a while. But somewhere between the weekend nights out and my addiction getting its claws in me, he stopped doing everything, drinking, going out with me, smoking, and at first, not really saying anything to me. As the years passed, though, and my addiction grew worse, I was blowing through 60 30-milligram tablets in about 5 days, then crashing. I could not keep my eyes open. When you literally run on empty for 5 days straight, no sleep, barely any food, and you can feel your muscles burning from the buildup of lactic acid, I was useless not only to myself, but to my family. All these things he had to watch, and I never once considered how helpless he must have felt having to watch the mother of his child and the woman he loved slowly kill herself. So here we were. I must admit, it was the first time in 17 years we'd been together where I was not excited to see him. Looking back as I write this, I realized this was due to the uncertainty I felt about our future together. At the time, I wasn't sure there would be one. As expected, some uncomfortable truths were revealed. Afterwards, I felt even worse. You see, addiction is a family disease. If you love someone who suffers, at some point you must learn to love them with a form of detachment. It's a protection mechanism to cushion the blow, so to speak. So if things happen in the predictable way these things often do, you've already mentally prepared yourself for it. At least that's what you tell yourself. The reality is that you feel absolutely helpless watching someone you love hurt themselves and having no power to fix it. All you can do is hope that they will want to do it for themselves. Much like the addict having to admit they're powerless over their addiction, the person that loves the addict is powerless to help. Thank you for joining me in another video about my struggles with addiction. It does get better. Thank you for listening.